Hey guys, as promised, I am back to do some vlog topics that I wanted to talk about that I talked about in my previous video. Just a disclaimer, I want to warn you, I never said that these videos were going to be glamorous makeup tutorials or that I was going to be dressed to the nines because I am running a little slow today. But you know, it is what it is. I'm embracing the embrace. But the topic that I wanted to go over today was about like what does it mean to be real? What does it mean to be like authentic or raw or honest? You know, and this is kind of a huge broad topic. So I don't want to go into a ton of details, just kind of like glaze the surface on it. But you know, I've noticed too in everything that I've gone through my own personal self-development journey, like the one or two biggest things, and that's kind of what I model my journey on, or are kind of like my slogans are like being a better, realer you, and just being honest and real and authentic and raw. And that was a big deal for me because for a lot of years I did not believe that my feelings should be told, that I could express them or should express them. I just didn't feel like a lot of the times that it was the time or the place, or well, I'm younger and you know, they're older, and you know, I'm a kid to them. Like they'll be like, oh, whatever, you know. And a lot of the times, that's what happened. But I believed it, and that's what happened. And in return, it pissed me off or made me mad, you know. But I did that to myself because I wasn't being honest with myself. I wasn't being authentic. I didn't believe that I should be open and raw and express my feelings. I didn't even feel like my feelings were worth it. Like I should feel them. Like when you feel like you're on a deserted island and nobody's there to hear you and you're just like, Wilson, but there's a ton of people around you, you know, it's the crappiest feeling in the world. And that's kind of how like I felt, but I realized I was doing it to myself. And that's kind of why I have that motto, be a better, realer you, you know, because you can go through the motions day in and day out. And I kind of did for 7 years. And I was there. I was a person. I was a human. People liked me. People didn't like me, you know, but I wasn't me. I wasn't the real me. The real me was bottled up inside, wasn't talking about her feelings. You know, let people run me over, let people call me kid, let people like steal my ideas, take credit for it. You know, like let people bully me and let people like push me back and hold me back. And I wasn't okay with it after a while. And, you know, I know that if you feel the same way I just, like, was talking about, you feel the same way, too. You are not liking it, you know, especially if you're a woman in a man's world, which a lot of these big corporations or businesses, unfortunately, there is a ton of men. You know, it just happens that way. And especially if you feel like the only girl in the man's world, like, and you feel like your voice is never gonna get heard, gotta do something. Open your mouth. Let them hear you. Let them see you. You know, let them say, nope, that was my idea. Straight from my mouth. Nope. You know, and just be heard, be known, be seen, you know. And I feel for us women, like, that's just a lot of what we want, and sometimes we don't know how to express that that's actually what we want. So a lot of guys are like, oh god, she's just being dramatic, or oh, here she goes again, you know. And that's tough. It really really is. And that kind of goes back to my other topic I'm going to talk about later, is like, give credit where credit's due. You're not going to be perfect every single day, and your journey's not going to be over tomorrow, you know, if you started yesterday. And you gotta realize that, like, you're not gonna be perfect every day. Sometimes we're gonna backtrack. Sometimes we're gonna, like, the game of chutes and ladders should literally be taught to every kid. And if you don't play chutes and ladder at least once before the first grade, like, you can't go to the second grade because that's what a lot of life is. And I don't know, like, where I thought that life just was like a incline, and then you finally got to like achieving everything, and then you just plateaued, like, and life was good after that, like smooth sailing. I'm not sure if you guys had this experience, but it goes like this sometimes. You know, it's like a roller coaster ride. Like, there's no manual to life. There's no, like, it's trial and error. And oh my gosh, like, I wouldn't trade anything for the world, but like, some of the things I look back and I'm like, could have saved you some trauma and time, Rachel, but nope, you took the hard route. And it's just you know, and the little victories count too, even though we're so focused on like the future and like what we want and our hopes and our dreams, or other end of the spectrum, maybe we're so not focused on them because we're so lost, we're so confused, and here and over there, like, we're so far away from it. But like, we need to hone in and just go back to like the time when you loved yourself, and go back to that time when things were easy and you felt like you had life by the cojones. And you know, just like quarantine, like, for me personally, it was in the beginning scary, like traumatic. Like, I was like, oh my god, the world's gonna end. But then I kind of had to look at it differently and say, okay, this was the time I always asked for, to be lazy, to not have a job, like, for us all to be equal. You know, one of my things was, don't forget where you came from. You know, like, if the shoe fits, wear it. And, you know, it was funny. All the people that looked down on me, or like made me feel ways I didn't want to, especially in my old career, we were all equal at one point. You know, but for COVID, like, I really was able to dive into my feelings and really kickstart this journey. Like, I wrote my ebook. It's still in process. I talked about that yesterday. And I kind of just had all these other ideas that like kind of have spiraled into something bigger, which I'm super excited about. Hopefully you guys are too. You don't really know what it is, but me and my other half have kind of been like throwing ideas off the wall, and some of them have been sticking. So you'll kind of see what we're doing a little bit. He just got a new Instagram for his Gory Bucky Bowl, so if you pop onto my page, you can find him, or I could put the description below. But yeah, I mean, a lot of cool things are happening. But if I didn't wake up that one day and look myself in the mirror and say, I don't want to live my life like this anymore, I don't like the person that's staring back at me in the mirror, I don't want to do this anymore, I can't live like this anymore. Like, if I didn't like have that call to action, or the awareness, or just the fact to be honest with myself that I don't even like myself anymore, so to speak, you know, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be here on YouTube. I wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't have had all the education that I had through quarantine, you know, found all the amazing people I found through, you know, Instagram, or, you know, Pinterest or YouTube, or wherever I found these awesome people the last couple months. But I wouldn't have had that if I didn't be authentic with myself, be real with myself, be honest with myself, and I didn't, you know, fess up and say I want to change. And you know, it's funny because I'm like, oh cool, I'm gonna do this topic and this topic and this topic, but they all kind of run together because it's all part of the journey, you know. And like I say, the journey to be a realer, better version of you, you know. And you're the only one that knows who that is, because you're the only one that is there for yourself. You know yourself better than anybody in this world besides our higher powers or God or whoever you talk about. But you know, and you owe it to yourself to be real and authentic, and for you to express your feelings and to be vocal and to, you know, be creative, to be heard, to be seen. You owe that to yourself just as well as the world owes it to you, you know. And that's the thing. You gotta do it for you. You gotta do it for yourself. And you know, until you own up to, you know, I don't like the way I'm living my life, I don't like what's happening, you know, I don't like the way I treat people, I don't like the way they treat me, you know, until you are owning up to that, or aware of it, or identify it, you're never gonna change, you know. And things are just gonna be the same exact way, and you're gonna wonder like why I'm still here. And you know, you're gonna have that poor me all the time. It's not gonna be every once in a blue moon, it's gonna be every dang day. You're gonna have that poor me because you're so covered in crap, you're covered in limiting beliefs, you're covered in negative thoughts, you're covered in people's judgments, you're scorned by the world, you know. And I'm starting to think I'm gonna rebrand and take out Diary of a Scorned Timeshare Queen, because I'm not necessarily scorned anymore, but I gave too much power to my old job, and I was scorned for a while. But you know, I don't know, something to kind of throw out there. But kind of getting a little bit off topic. But yeah, I mean, I hope that this kind of helps people, or people can relate to what I'm saying about being real and raw and honest. And obviously these aren't like the 4 steps to being raw and honest, but they're just little bits and pieces. And obviously if you've watched any of my videos, or you watch a video and you're like, I want to like just pick her brain about stuff, go ahead. Like, I'm always open, I'm always honest. I reply to most people, unless you're like creeping me out or I feel like it's a scammy ad. So if I've ever done that to you, sorry. But yeah, I mean, I'm always here, always have my phone. So feel free to drop in. Also, go check out my Instagram, go check out my Pinterest, watch my other videos, send me an email. If you go to my blog, you can shoot an email through there, or just connect with me on Instagram. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed my little V talk today. And if you want to chat about anything else, please let me know. But the other 2 vlogs will be coming, you know, either tomorrow or later this week, about you know, giving yourself credit where credit is due, as well as there was something else and I can't remember, but we'll go over that later. But there's a couple other upcoming things. I'm going to share most of my like exciting behind the scenes sneak previews on YouTube, mostly, a little bit on Instagram. So if you are kind of wondering, like, what is she talking about, what is she doing, what are her and Jeff doing, stay tuned, because the vlogs will be on here, because they're just so much easier. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday, and you know where to find me.